It's hard to consider Duck Dynasty and the Robinson clan a real dynasty since the show has only been on TV since 2012, and the family business, Duck Commander, just started in 1973. That's not even the length of one lifetime. Compare that to some of the longest dynasties of history, those like Bulgaria, Japan, Vietnam, and Korea, which lasted over 2,000 years. From that perspective, Duck Commander is a newborn. If it's still in business under the Robinson family in 3973, well, then we can call it a dynasty. But there's one dynasty that eclipses every other dynasty by more than 1,000 years. This dynasty, the Divine Dynasty, goes back 4,000 years to the Patriarch Abraham. In Genesis 12, God promised to make Abraham a great name, just as he did later for David, and a great nation. That promise was fulfilled through Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes that became the nation of Israel. More important than their physical descent from Abraham was their relationship to God, who repeatedly called them my people. 3,000 years ago, a mere 1,000 years after Abraham, the promise was repeated and expanded when God told David that he would build a house for him. This is what the Lord of armies says: I myself took you from the pasture, from following the sheep, to be leader over my people Israel. And I have been with you wherever you have gone, and have eliminated all your enemies from you. I will also make a great name for you, like the names of the great men who are on the earth, and I will establish a place for my people Israel, and will plant them so that they may live in their own place and not be disturbed again. Nor will malicious people oppress them any more as previously, even from the day that I appointed judges over my people Israel, and I will give you rest from all your enemies. The Lord also declares to you that the Lord will make a house for you. 2 Samuel 7, verses 8 through 11. It's clear from the context that God's not talking about brick and mortar, but about a family, a people. To be even more specific, God is referring to his own chosen people, Israel. 1,000 years later, Jesus came and was introduced as the Son of David, the Son of Abraham, the Son of God. Luke 3, verses 23 through 38. And through Jesus, people from all nations are invited to be part of David's house, part of God's family, his people, spiritual Israel, the church. 4,000 years after the promise to Abraham, that dynasty, which is no longer based on a mere physical relationship, continues to grow as people across the world are joined to Jesus in baptism. You too can be a part of God's family today, a child of the King. Your physical lineage doesn't matter one bit. By submitting to Jesus in obedient faith, you can be a part of a 4,000-year-old dynasty. But it gets better. Because by being part of the family of God, we share in an eternal dynasty, one that will never end, a family that is no longer separated by death, for they will dwell with God and be his people, where there is no longer any mourning, crying, or pain, where those who overcome will be God's children. Revelation 21, verses 3 through 7. Now that's a real dynasty. And do you want to know something really good about the good news of eternal salvation in Jesus Christ? Entry into the divine dynasty is open for all who will hear and obey. Anyone can hear and obey and become a member of the divine dynasty. Will you? The choice is yours. Well, thanks for watching today's Morning Minutes in the Bible. Until tomorrow, this is James McClenny helping you have a great day.